Chauncey, how do you explain this team from the last 2 days as opposed to that team on Sunday?
I just think, after that, obviously that Memphis game was such a devastating loss for us. There was a lot of things that went into it. But again, like I said, we came in the following day and we sat and had a real honest conversation. And I think that there's a lot to be gained from honesty. And we addressed those things. And it's just amazing what you can do when you do it together. And no matter who's out there, when you play for your buddy, it's amazing how good you can play, whether you win or lose, So that's all I could tell you for real is like we playing so hard, we playing together. They care about them playing well together, and it's just amazing what you can do. These guys are not in the NBA for no reason. They're great players, So I love to see it. They're playing for their buddy, and that's what we want.
Could you have imagined getting the production you got from Donovan tonight?
Well, we've seen him do it before, when he started the game against Utah, even though it was the preseason. We've seen him have a big-time night, You never know, what you're going to get from him. You're going to get maximum effort. The game is he's starting to understand what people are running, and for him to have 8 blocks. And it's not even just the shots that he blocked, the 7 or 8 other shots that, that he changed, or them seeing him in the paint and choosing to go the other direction. Those things don't even come up on a stat sheet. So you got to give Donovan a lot of credit, And we sat in here before the game talking about his minutes, and he played 31 minutes, and he was gassed. And I thought, obviously, he took a bad hit at the end that I had to get him out for, but it might have been 33 minutes, He did a great job.
Players have big scoring nights a lot in the league, but how rare is it, or is it rare for a player to have the defensive performance like Clingan had?
There's just not a lot of guys that can impact a game defensively like a guy like he can. So I would say that, the guys in the league the Wembys and guys that are great big-time shot blockers, they have some big nights, where they have 6, 7, 8 blocks. I think what's so surprising here is just how young he is and how inexperienced he is, not even used to playing this many minutes. I don't know how many games. Last year at UConn, he played 31, 32 minutes. So to me, that is what's most impressive, to play that much and to be able to stay that focused.
That is his competitiveness. We saw it get pretty live out there.
Oh, man. That's what most people that know him well know that about him, but he's a real competitor, man. And he cares about doing it right. He cares about being there and being a good teammate. But he's a competitor, man. He's trying to go after everything, and he is actually pissed when he doesn't block that shot, or when he goes and blocks a shot and his man ends up getting an offensive rebound. He's hot, I just want him to voice that. I want him to be a little better about that. Voice it. Let your teammates know you mad, and why you mad. That's his next step.
It was a big night for Clingan, obviously, but also a career night for Sharp, and he's really kind of come into his own. What have you seen from him as he's continued to shake off that rust and get in his groove?
Well, I just see him getting more comfortable. I'm starting to run a lot more stuff for him, as he's starting to get to a point where he can, kind of play without restrictions and things like that. It was good to see him really get back going, and our guys, they really trust him to get going in those situations. So I was really happy for Shaden. He's another guy that played great. And also, even a guy like Jeremy, who didn't have a great night, but, man, I thought his defense was stellar. Stellar all night on Anthony Edwards. So a lot of guys played good. I was so happy for Chris Murray, and that's what it's about. Chris hadn't played in 3 or 4 games. Comes in there and I'm just trying to mix and match and see what's going on and see who's going to give me the energy I needed that night. Boom, Chris was right there and made some amazing plays, so happy for him as well.
Have you seen in the past before about loud plays? How loud was Shaden's follow dunk on Grant?
Man, that was beautiful. I mean, that was really loud. I thought it deflated them, but me watching it, it was like poetry in motion, man. It looked like it was in slow motion. You know, the ball came off perfect, and he jumped, and it was just, I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure I'll be seeing it all over the place tonight.
On that note, we talked about this last game and then kind of the idea of where the NBA's at, taking so many threes. Shea starts the game out with a couple hang dribble, pull-up kind of settle shots. It's kind of the same thing as yesterday. Is there a thing that even though he finds that aggressiveness later throughout the game and finishes the way that you did, do you have to kind of prod him a little bit, hey, we need you to start that way?
Yeah, well, you do. I mean, Shea is such a teammate, and he doesn't want to step on anybody's toes, and he wants to just kind of fit in, you know. And I'm telling him, no, I want you need to go. I mean, you look at the one play in the fourth quarter. I mean, I was the most mad I was in the whole game when we worked hard to get him an isolation situation against Rudy, and he passes a lazy bounce pass to Donovan with two people on him in a big-time game, you know, so I got to force him, you know. But that, you know, he'll get used to it, you know, and he loves that we depend on him to do some of those things, and the more that happens, the more he'll get used to it.
Do you feel like Shaden is fully there as far as trusting his body? Because, like, last night he had that wide-open layup that he missed that, like, I think probably before that shoulder injury, he probably would have just, like, dunked that. And then tonight you saw him have that put back. Do you feel like he's kind of getting there as far as...
No, I thought last night that was like a his leg got kind of clipped as he was in the air, and that kind of took the steam off of him. But I think he's fully confident in his body. You know, you look at him play against this team back-to-back nights, and as physical as they are and the great defenders that he had to get through to get to the rim to meet Rudy, you know, and you do it all game. So he's definitely confident and strong in his body. He's not thinking about it. He's not worried about it, and you can tell.